Let us for a few minutes meditate on the Master and pray for the well-being of the whole humanity. Shanti Shanti Hari Om Tat Sat Om Stapakaya Cha Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishna Te Namah Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from unreal to the real, to remove all ignorance by lighting the lamp of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. Sri Ramakrishna has been giving spiritual instructions so that we may follow the path zealously. Sri Ramakrishna is fully aware that it is not a very smooth path. In the beginning of spiritual life, one goes by a roundabout way. One has to suffer a great deal. But when through the grace of God, devotion and ecstatic love are awakened in his heart, the path becomes very easy. Why the spiritual life seems to be difficult? Why it is so? Because it is rather difficult to pull the mind away from the worldly attractions. Unless you pull the mind away from them, spiritual life will not begin. It is very simple. So it is difficult for us to follow, because it is very simple. So what Sri Ramakrishna tells here is that you will have to shun all these temporal attractions, glamours, illusions. Call by whatever name you want. Distractions, diversions. So, ask yourself, what is it I want? You have to ask that question directly to yourself before you contemplate on spiritual life. Do I want this fleeting life of transient attractions, enjoyments, diversions? Or do I want the eternal bliss of everlasting life? So then you will be able to decide upon in what manner you will have to pass through spiritual way. So Sri Ramakrishna tells us that we will have to cultivate dispassion. Dispassion is the foundation of spiritual life. Without dispassion towards the world, faith and love do not grow. Somebody asked Sri Ramakrishna, where should one concentrate? People keep on asking this question. Should we have to concentrate on the heart center or between the eyebrows? Where? Sri Ramakrishna replied, the heart is a splendid place. But then he said, you may meditate wherever you like. Every place is filled with Brahman consciousness. Is there any place where it doesn't exist? The whole universe is filled up by God's consciousness. It is because of our foolish ignorance, it's because of our foolish attachment to worldly things, we have become blind. We are unable to see the glory of God. There is a significant story in the Puranas which Sri Ramakrishna tells. Sriman Narayan was incarnated himself as Vaman, a brahmachari. So he went and asked Bali Chakravarti, who was well known for charity. So he went and asked him, I noted you are well reputed as a good charitable person. Are you able to give me 3 steps of land? This Bali, the name of the person who was ruling the heavens, he said, what? Asking only 3 steps. You can ask anything you want, I am ready to give. Why you ask only 3 steps? But then that brahmachari said, no, I want only 3 steps, nothing more. Anyway, not going to the details of the story, Bali agreed. And what this Vaman did, with 2 steps, the heavens, the earth and the interspaces, he covered. Is there any place uncovered by God? It is said that the whole creation is the Virat, that is, the universal form of God. Vishwatma, Paramatma. The whole universe is the body of God. Then Sri Ramakrishna tells, you can meditate wherever you want. But heart center is splendid. You can meditate there. There are 2 kinds of meditation. One is on the formless God and the other on God with form. There also Sri Ramakrishna tells, whatever that suits you, do it. Don't look upon another person. What is he doing? It is not your business. You look to yourself. First you have experience. Why are you bothered about another man's affair? Where is the time to criticize others when you have no time to practice yourself? So, Sri Ramakrishna tells and confirms that God can be meditated upon by concentrating on His divine forms or concentrating on the formless aspect. Both are true. God with form is as real as God without form. That is the statement of Sri Ramakrishna. Once a devotee, a lady devotee, I happened to see her when she came to Bangalore. When she came to Bangalore, I was a brahmachari, a novice. When she came to Bangalore, she was 90 plus, I think, age. I was probably 25 or 26. She had seen Sri Ramakrishna. Her name, Bhavatarini. She gave her experience. She spoke in Bengali. She was a Bengali lady. Somebody translated into English. She said, one day Sri Ramakrishna came to her home. She was a young girl. Whenever the holy people come, it is a tradition that all the people of the household would go and offer salutations. So this little girl immediately went to him and made salutations and sat there for a few minutes. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting there alone and this little girl was looking at him. Just a minute or so, she saw to her surprise that whole form of Sri Ramakrishna just disappeared. Just disappeared. She couldn't believe. She rubbed her eyes and saw again and again. No. Where did he go? This moment I saw him. Where did he go? She was just wondering. Immediately she saw again Sri Ramakrishna sitting, smiling with a blissful face. That was her experience. She narrated that. She said, when I saw Sri Ramakrishna, I was completely in raptures, full of joy. So, Parabrahman, who is Sri Ramakrishna? Embodiment of all gods and goddesses. All gods and goddesses merge into him. That is Sri Ramakrishna. Once a devotee, a sadhaka, who was worshipping Ram, he came to Sri Ramakrishna. He had Ramlal with him, always worshipping him. As soon as he came in contact with Sri Ramakrishna, that small image Ramlal, which used to give joy to that sadhaka, thenceforward it began to spend time in the company of Sri Ramakrishna. It would not go away from Sri Ramakrishna. Finally that sadhaka came to know that Sri Rama is happy with Sri Ramakrishna, so let him be here. And there is another instance where a devotee of Lord Krishna, who was having the child Krishna on her shoulders, she came to see Sri Ramakrishna. The child was visible to only to that lady, not to others, because of her purity of heart, because she was intensely devoted and did intense spiritual sadhanas. So she was blessed with vision of child Krishna. It was always with her, giving joy. And one day she came to Sri Ramakrishna. She kept the child on the ground and offered her salutations. When she got up, what she saw? This little child, Sri Krishna, just crawling and entering into the heart of Sri Ramakrishna, got merged into him, thereby revealing that Sri Ramakrishna is none other than Sri Krishna himself. That was a great revelation to that lady devotee. So, Sri Ramakrishna tells, what is needed is you must worship God, realize the truth. Whatever manner you want, you have it. That's what Sri Ramakrishna says. That is why we find in Sri Ramakrishna harmony of religions. In letter and spirit, not simply talking. In letter and spirit, we believe, we feel really that all religious paths lead to the same goal. Then, while talking about meditation, Sri Ramakrishna said many things. I am just taking one or two points only. He talked about Om. The sound Om is itself Brahman. Om is Brahman. After attaining perfection, one hears the sound of this eternal word rising spontaneously from the navel. Om ityekaksharam Brahma. Upanishad says, the one syllable Om is Brahman. Shabda Brahma we call. Brahman in the sound form. By following the trail of Om, you attain Brahman, of which the word is the symbol. Brahman is the ultimate goal. But such a vision is not possible as long as you are conscious of your ego. Ego. I am so and so. A man realizes Brahman only when he feels neither I nor you, neither one nor many. Sri Ramakrishna explains this by an example. There is a sun keep 10 jars filled with water. The sun is reflected in each jar. At first, you see one real sun and 10 reflected ones. 10 jars reflecting the sun. So 10 reflected suns you are seeing. If you break 9 of the jars, there will remain only the real sun and one reflection. Out of the 10 jars, you have broken 9. Only one is remaining. Then Sri Ramakrishna tells, each jar represents a jiva. We are all like jars, independent, individual jars, reflecting the same Paramatma. Whether you are a Christian, whether you are a Hindu, whether you are a Mohammedan, whether you are this, that, whatever it may be. Following the reflection, one can find the real sun. Through the individual soul, one can reach the Supreme Soul. Through spiritual discipline, the individual soul can get the vision of the Supreme Soul. What remains when the last jar is broken? It can't be described. Once Sri Ramakrishna himself wanted to share his experiences with the disciples, with the devotees. He wanted to explain everything. He wanted to give out the whole secret. He doesn't want to keep anything secret. He was explaining how God is experienced in different centers, starting from Mooladhara. All the spiritual centers are located on the spinal cord, according to Yoga Shastra. That's why we ask you to sit straight when you are meditating. Backbone must be straight. The spiritual energy should flow upwards. If you bend, it obstructs the flow. It must be perpendicular when you sit. Of course, we have got reasons we can't sit, something, ailments, etc. That's a different matter. What I am telling is, according to yoga, all these spiritual centers are located on this spinal column. So, there are 7 chakras, Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Ajna, Vishuddha, Sahasrara. These are all different planes of consciousness. When you meditate on particular center, in course of time, the truth is revealed at that plane of consciousness. So Sri Ramakrishna was explaining how that experience would be. So when he came to Sahasrara, that is on the brain, he's just trying to explain, he went into Samadhi. He couldn't explain. He tried 2-3 times. 2-3 times same thing happened. He tries to open his mouth, finished, gone into bliss, gone into ecstasy, Samadhi. Then he said, it can't be described. It can't be described. It's only to be experienced. That's all. Now, we are all in one way or other in a state of ignorance. That is why we are always not happy. Though we look like happy. We look happy beings, but we are not happy really. Why? Because of the ignorance. The individual jiva means the embodied soul. He is not conscious of God, but of multiplicity. He sees many things around him. On attaining knowledge, he becomes conscious that God dwells in all beings. Sri Ramakrishna explains this by giving an example. Suppose there is a thorn in the sole of your foot. You get another thorn and take out the first one. In other words, he removes the thorn of ajnana, ignorance, by means of the dharana of jnana, knowledge. But on attaining vijnana, he discards both dharans, knowledge and ignorance. Both are transcended. Then he talks intimately with God day and night. It is no more vision of God. All the time he is conscious of God. In fact, that is the state of Sri Ramakrishna. He was always fully aware of God. He who has merely heard of milk is ignorant. He who has seen milk, he has seen the milk, has knowledge. But he who has drunk milk and been strengthened by it has attained vijnana. Jnana, vijnana. Special knowledge, superior knowledge. Now, as I said earlier, man suffers because of his ignorance. This ignorance is his sense of ego. When one is free from this egoism, surrendering his life, his mind and his intellect at the blessed feet of the Lord of all, renouncing all that he calls his own, then is he blessed indeed. That man alone is happy. That means he who has completely given up his ego, or surrendered his ego, sacrificed his ego. Both Vidya Shakti, knowledge, and Avidya Shakti, ignorance, are the power of the divine. Both of them are Lord's powers. Both are there, just like light and its shadow. As long as light is there, shadow also is there. So also knowledge and ignorance. You will realize him the moment he lifts the veil of ignorance. It is grace and grace alone that we need. In order to get this grace, we need to practice spiritual disciplines. So the root of ignorance and delusion is the sense of little me and mine. Give up this attachment to the little self. This world belongs to you, O Lord. You are the master. I am only one of your servants. Cherish this idea. Because the disease of ignorance is so severe, it requires the greatest of all physicians. Taking the divine name cures the disease. Sing His glory with your entire heart and soul. Man's life becomes fruitful only if he struggles to break out this net of ignorance. Once a devotee asked a question to Swami Ramakrishna Math, one of the 16 disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. Could not God free us from ignorance at once if He wished? Ramakrishna Nandaji answered, surely. But He is so infinitely loving that He doesn't wish to disturb us. Child is playing, let him play. So long as he sees that we really cling to our ignorance, cling to our desires, he does not come to free us. As long as we cherish desires, he makes us to satisfy those desires. Only when we turn all our desire to Him, then He comes. And then selfishness and ignorance go away. They vanish in a second. But we must not bribe the mind. We must not pretend to be free from desire. The feeling must be absolutely sincere. No fraud or bribery. So Ramakrishna made it very clear. Why God is keeping quiet? Why there is so much suffering? People become angry at God, as if God will respond to their anger. If you show more temper, God laughs more, He smiles more. Well, another devotee asked another disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda. All those pictures, portraits of the 16 disciples are there on the chapel backside. You can see afterwards. Seeing how difficult it is to practice spirituality, one devotee asked the Swami, Swami, can we achieve spiritual enlightenment at all? Swami Vivekananda said, yes, certainly. Then he explains by telling an incident. Once a man approached a holy man for spiritual knowledge. The holy man advised him to cling to the trunk of a tree. As the man did so, the holy man directed him to leave the tree now and come away. The man had held it tight, so much so that he now found it difficult to slacken the grip. He could not come away, even though the Mahatma is telling him to come away. Then another person came. He hit this man on his head a few times with a stick. When he got the hit, he cried out, "Oh my God!" At once he freed himself. Thus you see, until God strikes us with the stick of knowledge, we cannot attain it. Spiritual knowledge is within us, but we are not aware of this fact. Blows given with the stick of knowledge make us see that we have the power to free ourselves, and that knowledge is there within us. That is how Sri Ramakrishna explains the spiritual ideas. We have to organize ourselves properly. The more the discipline, the better. We have to perfect ourselves. The impurities are so much. It is horrible. How do you know that we have so much of impurities? Only when you practice you will understand how much hurdles are there on the way. All those hurdles were put by our own self, not by somebody. I myself have put all those hurdles on my way. Now I am becoming aware of those hurdles, so I am feeling the difficulty. I have put the hurdles, so I must remove the hurdles. It's logical. Now I shall read a few passages, then your session will begin. Questions, comments, discussion, etc. Page 409. A young man of 27 or 28, known as Thakur Dada, entered the room with a few friends and saluted the master. He lived at Baranagar and was the son of a Brahmin Pandit. He was practicing the Katha, the recital of stories from religious books with appropriate music, in order to earn money to meet his family's expenses. At one time, he had been seized with the spirit of renunciation and had gone away from his family. Even now, He practiced spiritual discipline at home. Master asked, "Have you come on foot? Where do you live?" Dada answered, "Yes, sir, I have walked from home. I live at Baranagar." Sri Ramakrishna said, "Have you come here for any particular purpose?" Dada said, "I have come here to visit you. I pray to God, but why do I suffer now and then from worries? For a few days I feel very happy. Why do I feel restless afterwards?" Sri Ramakrishna answered, "I see. Things have not been fitted quite exactly. The machine works smoothly if the machine fits the cogs of the wheels correctly. In your case, there is an obstruction somewhere." Dada said, "Yes, sir, that must be so." Then Sri Ramakrishna asked him, "Are you initiated?" Dada said, "Yes, sir." Then Master said, "Do you have faith in your mantra? You have received the initiation all right, but do you have faith?" A friend of Thakur Dada said that Dada could sing well. The master asked him to sing. Then Dada sang, "I shall become a yogi and dwell in love's mountain cave. I shall be lost in yoga beside the fountain head of bliss. I shall appease my hunger for knowledge with the fruit of truth. I shall worship the feet of God with the flower of dispassion. I shall not seek a well to slake the burning thirst of my heart, but I shall draw the water of peace into the jar of my soul. Drinking the glorious nectar of thy blessed lotus feet, I shall both laugh and dance and weep and sing on the heights of joy." Master said, "Oh, what a nice song! Fountainhead of bliss, fruit of truth, laugh and dance and weep and sing. Your song tastes very sweet to me. Why should you worry? Pleasure and pain are inevitable in the life of the world. One suffers now and then from a little worry and trouble. A man living in a room full of soot cannot avoid being a little stained." Dada said, "Please tell me what I shall do now." Sri Ramakrishna said, "Chant the name of Hari morning and evening, clapping your hands. Come once more when my arm is healed a bit." Mahimacharan entered the room and saluted the master. Sri Ramakrishna said to him, "Oh, he has sung a nice song. Please sing it again." Thakur Dada repeated the song. Master said to Mahima, "Please recite that verse, the one about devotion to Hari." Mahimacharan recited, quoting from the Narada Pancharatra. "What need is there of penance if God is worshipped with love? What is the use of penance if God is not worshipped with love? What need is there of penance if God is seen within and without? What is the use of penance if God is not seen within and without?" Master said, "Recite that part also, obtain from him the love of God." Mahima recited, "O Brahman, O my child, cease from practicing further penances. Hasten to Shankara, the ocean of heavenly wisdom. Obtain from him the love of God, the pure love praised by devotees. which snaps in twain the shackles that bind you to the world. Master said, yes, Shankara will bestow the love of God. Mahima said, one who is free from bondage, he is the eternal Shiva. Master said, shame, hatred, fear, hesitation, these are the shackles. What do you say? Mahima said, yes sir. And also the desire to conceal and shrinking before praise. Master said, there are two signs of knowledge. First, an unshakable buddhi. No matter how many sorrows, afflictions, dangers and obstacles one may be faced with, one's mind does not undergo any change. It is like the blacksmith's anvil, which receives constant blows from the hammer and still remains unshaken. And second, manliness, very strong grit. If lust and anger injure a man, he must renounce them once for all. If a tortoise once tucks in its limbs, it won't put them out again, though you may cut it into. One moves in a slow rhythm. Intense renunciation is like the sharp edge of a razor. It cuts the bondage of Maya easily and at once. One farmer labors for days to bring water from the lake to his field, but his efforts are futile because he has no grit. Another farmer, after laboring for 2 or 3 days, takes a vow and says, I will bring water into my field today, and not till then will I go home. He puts aside all thoughts of his bath or his meal. He labors the whole day and feels great joy when in the evening he finds water entering his field with a murmuring sound. Then he goes home and says to his wife, now give me some oil, I shall take my bath. After finishing his bath and his meal, he lies down to sleep with a peaceful mind. A certain woman said to her husband, so and so has developed a spirit of great dispassion for the world, but I don't see anything of the sort in you. He has 16 wives. He is giving them up one by one. The husband, with a towel on his shoulder, was going to the lake for his bath. He said to his wife, you are crazy. He won't be able to give up the world. Is it ever possible to renounce bit by bit? I can renounce. Look, here I go. He didn't stop even to settle his household affairs. He left home just as he was, the towel on his shoulder, and went away. That is intense renunciation. There is another kind of renunciation called Markata Vairagya. That is monkey renunciation. A man harrowed by distress at home puts on an ochre robe and goes away to Benares. For many days he does not send home any news of himself. Then he writes to his people, don't be worried about me, I have got a job here. There is always trouble in family life. The wife may be disobedient, perhaps the husband earns only 20 rupees a month. He hasn't the means to perform the rice eating ceremony for his baby. He can't educate his son. The house is dilapidated, roof leaks, and he has not the money to repair it. Therefore, when the youngsters come here, I ask them whether they have anyone at home. To Mahima, he said, why should householders renounce the world? What great troubles the wandering monks pass through. The wife of a certain man said to him, you want to renounce the world? Why? You will have to beg morsels from 8 different homes, but here you get all your food at one place. Isn't that nice? Wandering monks, while searching for a Sadavrata, may have to get 6 miles out of their way. an eating place where food is supplied free to monks and beggars. I have seen them travelling along the regular road after their pilgrimage to Puri and making a detour to find an eating place. You are leading a householder's life. That's very good. It is like fighting from a fort. There are many disadvantages in fighting in an open field. So many dangers. 2. Bullets may hit you, but one should spend some time in solitude and attain knowledge. Then one can lead the life of a householder. Janaka lived in the world after attaining knowledge. When you have gained it, you may live anywhere, then nothing matters. Let me stop here. Now your session begins, your questions and comments, discussions. Because as long as we keep on doing things contrary to the spiritual ways, we are only strengthening our already inherent worldly tendencies. So actually, we get more and more attached. In one word, Sri Ramakrishna has explained why this attachment. That is just been said like ignorance. It's Maya. There is no answer for that. Somehow we have been attached. Now we have to detach this. We have to find out the method of detachment. How do you detach yourself? By practicing non-attachment. Of course, it is true. We know things, but it is difficult for us to practice it. It is true. That shows some more time is required so that we get maturity in the mind. Time will come when you will say, enough of these things, enough, no more. But you have to take that step, sometime or other. The more days you pass, the more difficult it becomes for you to give up. That's true. But then, be ready to have the consequences. The things that you get, pain and pleasure alternately in the life, they come and go. So the only way is to suffer and suffer. Though the way is there, it's not possible to practice discipline, so suffering is the only way. But then there is a purpose behind this suffering. What does the suffering do? It burns the impurities. But again we become impure. Again you have to burn. The process goes on. But everyone will have to learn the lesson and will have to find some method of getting rid of this world bewitching Maya, ignorance. That's all. Yeah. Fear of what? You should be fearless. The nature of Atman is fearless. The idea of fear is because of ignorance. Because we are worshipping Maya all through our life. Not only this life. We don't know how many lives we have already passed through. Millions of lives. We are just keep on nourishing this Maya. So, the fear is an account of ignorance. So immediately you must shake off that fear. Why should I fear? That must initiate that process. Analyze it. Find out the ways and methods of fighting that fear. Then everything goes away. One way to get rid of attachment is, if at all you have to be attached, be attached to everything. Love everything. Be limitless. By that way, you expand yourself. Somehow you must feel the method of expanding yourself. Attachment always brings some kind of negative effect upon the mind. It will be carried away by emotions, by motivations. So they lead to unpleasant consequences. You do the thing, whatever you want to do, with the idea of non-attachment, that is maintaining the balance of the mind. That is the state of tranquility, tranquil state. You do it calmly, steadily, not impulsively. If you keep on practicing doing that, it becomes easy. Everything depends upon our practice. It's just like learning music, for example. In one day you can't learn a song. It requires a week-long process, a week-long practice. Every day you have to practice for a certain amount of time. In my experience, I have found out whenever I learn, one stage will come. The stage is, you feel very difficult. Oh, probably it's not possible at all. But don't give up. Still persist. Then you will see everything is easy. Yeah. It is true with all the things, whatever we do. It appears difficult, but you persist, all the difficult goes away. It becomes easy. Like that. Like that. What is needed is, if you want to have real peace of mind, you will have to have the clear knowledge of these things so that you can adopt yourself in that fashion. That is, you have to reorganize yourself thoroughly. It takes time. It takes time. Alright, we should stop. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quenched that mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drown deep in the waves of his bliss, tasting his nectar at every step, bathing in his name, that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass, be patient and forbearing like a tree, take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean, he is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy consider him as dust beneath thy feet. O how I long for the day when instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with this desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stealest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers. May all realize what is good. May all be actuated by noble thoughts. May all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy. May all be free from disease. May all realize what is good. May none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous. May the virtuous attain tranquility. May the tranquil be free from bonds. May the freed make others free. May good betide all people. May the sovereign righteously rule the earth. May all beings ever attain what is good. May the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time. May the earth be blessed with crops. May all countries be freed from calamity. May holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.